Oh. Jesus. How's it going, Caleb?
Austin, it's going well. How are you?
I'm nervous.
I think it's all right. Does it look all right? It's actually really surprising that that's the only thing that actually fell.
It's tilting a little bit. It's not like moving, but it's definitely tilted.
Whatever.
It could be okay. Just don't yank on it.
Yeah.
This is going swell.
This is going swell. This is now staying in. Hi. Welcome, Austin, to episode 23 of Balls and Blasters.
Episode 23 of Balls and Blasters. It's good to be back.
It feels great. And you're looking fantastic in your United States gear.
Thank you.
Today.
It'll come in handy for my topic today.
Is it related or is it not related?
It's kind of related. Not the hockey part itself, but the USA part itself.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't bring anything related to my topic.
That's fine. It's
Unfortunately.
okay. I'm disappointed, Caleb.
Why are you disappointed?
Because you already have an open can.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, yeah. I was deep in. We've been having. You guys don't know we've been having problems with the video cutting out. Then I have to delete stuff so that we can make space for more video. And I was deep in work and grinding on deleting a bunch of stuff so I could get a lot of space. I deleted a lot of Steam games. I had a lot of Steam games that I just don't play.
Yeah,
So I just deleted all those or uninstalled them.
it's fair.
But I was deep in doing that, and I was like, I need something to drink while I'm doing this. I'm a little parched. So yeah, but you can do a spiritual.
You got to make the noise, though. Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's fine for this episode 23.
Welcome back, everybody. We took a 1-week hiatus to record some short-form content.
Yes, and you guys seem to like it. Maybe make a little fun comments on it. Stay tuned for more soon. But
Yes.
we're back with our regular scheduled program.
We are, and I'm excited because my sport of the week, I was looking back at our YouTube, and I haven't talked about baseball in like almost a month and a half.
Really? I feel like you talk about baseball.
Well, it used to be all the time until I got a rotation down. But it's actually been a while. It's been a while.
Well, I'm excited to hear about baseball today.
Hell yeah, brother. Little sneak peek. But I suppose, do we need to do a quick rundown, or do they get the gist?
I think they get it. You guys know the drill by this point. It's episode 23. Austin, he talks about sporty jock stuff. I, myself, Caleb, talk about nerdy stuff. And we just, teach each other and you guys about the different topics that we teach. I say we get right into it this episode.
We gibber, we jab, we teach, we lie.
I mean, some of the information I get might be a little fabricated, little embellished.
It's okay. It's fantasy land. It's okay.
No. I try to do my research is source checked. A lot of Wikipedia.
More reliable than some sources these days.
Yeah, hey, I would agree with that.
I was gonna say, before we jump in, there's been a lot going on in the sports world. This isn't related to my topic specifically, but part of the reason I'm wearing the USA hockey jersey is because both the men and the women were very successful in the Olympics last 2 weeks ago, both winning their gold medals. I don't think we've recorded a podcast since then.
I don't think so.
So that's part of the reason why I'm wearing it. So USA Pride, shout out.
USA.
That was a lot of fun. But yeah.
I saw the SNL skit.
I had seen a clip of it or whatever. I thought it was good. I laughed at it.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Have you seen heated rivalries? I know you haven't.
I haven't, but Twitter has informed me all about it.
Unironically, really good show. All right, though. So, Austin, shall we get into our rock, paper, scissors match?
I suppose we could do that.
All right. On shoot.
On shoot. The scoreboard is updated. Caleb, what is the scoreboard at right now?
That's 17 Austin to my 5. which is insane.
Does Caleb get back on the board?
Probably not.
Okay.
All right.
On shoot.
On shoot.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yes! Yes! The comeback starts now.
It starts now.
Oh my
Caleb,
gosh.
we tied, and then you threw out a double rock. I threw out a scissors.
And I just stuck with my guns.
You completely demolished my scissors.
So,
You rocked my world.
I'm about to rock your world with this right here.
All right.
I will actually be saying the word rock at some point. I can promise you that.
Rock and stone.
No.
If you
we
get
gotta
that,
get back into that. That'd be fun.
That's a good game. All right, Caleb. What do you got for me?
All right, Austin. So, a little thing happened last week.
Yes. What's that? Sorry.
A little event for the celebrating. What is it? 30 years for Pokemon.
Ooh. Okay.
And they just released the new trailer for their new game, Winds and Waves.
Winds and waves.
Mhm.
Like wind, like I won, or
No.
wind.
Wind like the
Okay,
breeze.
winds and waves. Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
So Austin, how much do you know about Pokemon?
Very, very little.
Yeah. You can name at least one. I know that.
I can name probably a couple.
You want to name a couple right now?
Pokemon. Let's see. Pikachu
Obviously.
and then Squirtle. Those are like the two
Okay.
really big ones that I know. And if you list a couple later on, I'll probably recognize a couple others. Those are just the first two that come to mind right away. So, Ash Ketchum. I know he's like a character.
He's a human.
I know. I'm just saying. Like
I will touch on him briefly. Yes.
Okay. This is the extent of my knowledge. They got the Pokeballs.
Yeah. Hey, you're better than a lot of people. You got Squirtle, which I did not expect you to get Squirtle.
I feel like that's a big one. Maybe it's just like a meme thing. I don't know.
Yeah, Squirtle's a meme.
Okay. There's others I know, but in the heat of the moment.
So, for those of you who don't know, Pokemon is a gigantic Japanese franchise. It is actually the highest grossing franchise ever in just terms of everything, not just the games, it's just ever. Where people and creatures coexist in the world of Pokemon. So, typically, people will catch these Pokemon and battle them. These are what the games are mainly known for. This is kind of like the trading card game too, and in the anime and movies, that's pretty much what the main premise of it is as well. It was created by, I do not speak Japanese, so if I butcher this, I'm sorry. Satoshi Tajiri, and owned by Nintendo and made by the company Game Freak, who is part of Nintendo.
Okay.
So, Austin, what is a Pokemon?
Well, that's just a fantastic question, Caleb. Are you asking me?
No. No, it's rhetorical. It's rhetorical.
Okay.
All right. So, a Pokemon is going to be a fictional character that has special powers and abilities. That could be things like fire breathing, like what Charizard does.
That's another one I know. Yep.
Thunderbolts, like a Pikachu or a Jolteon, or like psychic abilities, like basically anything that Mew does or Mewtwo. If you know who those are.
Mewtwo may ring a bell, but I don't know why.
So, they grow stronger and evolve into more powerful forms. So each battle you gain XP, and some Pokemon will evolve to a next form. So we'll go with the basic Charmander, which is my favorite Generation 1 Pokemon starter, because there are a lot of generations. Austin, do you actually know how many generations there are?
No, I the idea of them leveling up, I I was aware of that, but I'm not sure how many times you can do that.
So I should clarify this. So I'm gonna give you this right now. So in the first gen, we'll get to this later. There is 151 Pokemon. Each game, mainline series game, they is a new generation. They add different Pokemon, not the
Oh,
evolutions. That the evolutions are going to be different from the generations.
okay.
So do you know how many generations there are?
No, I can't even venture to guess.
All right, we'll get to that a little later then. But yeah, typically Pokemons don't have more than two evolutions, so three Pokemon of the same like creature in total.
Mhm.
So we'll go for example Charizard or Charmander. So Charmander is a starter Pokemon. He's the first fire starter in the game ever. He will evolve at a certain level to Charmeleon, who Charmeleon is a little bit bigger version of Charmander. Uh, Definitely looks more like you're getting up in the adult phases, and then after that, after a certain level, Charmeleon will evolve into Charizard, and Charizard is like a almost like a dragon type Pokemon, though he's not a dragon type, which is controversial.
Mhm.
But he's like looks like a giant dragon. So each stage they look cooler. They're supposed to look cooler, and they look, or excuse me, they are supposed to get more powerful. Now
Okay.
this goes for most Pokemon, but not all Pokemon. That's another thing. So also with the evolutions, not all Pokemon are going to be evolve through leveling up. There are different Pokemon that can evolve through stuff like stones or items. A good example is going to be Pikachu. You can level Pikachu up as many times as you want, but he won't evolve into Raichu, which is his next evolution, until you give him a Thunderstone. Or is it a Lightning Stone? It's Lightning or Thunderstone.
Okay.
So, and then there's also uh, Pokemon that can only be evolved by things like trading, which we'll get into in a little bit. But basically, you giving your Pokemon to somebody else, they evolve through you giving them that Pokemon, which is kind of creates a thing of here, I'll help you level up your Pokemon if you help me level up my Pokemon
Uh-huh.
type of deal. But I do want to ask this, Austin. There are 18 types in the game, so each Pokemon has a type.
Okay.
So I'll give you the first basic three, very easy. There's the three starters are going to be a fire type, which is what Charmander is. There's going to be a grass type, which is what Bulbasaur is, and then there's going to be a water type, which is what Squirtle is. Now there are what is that? 15 other types in the game. Do you know what the types are? Can you name like any of the types?
No, some of the Pokemon you've named have been very familiar. So like I at least got that. Like I would say 90% of the Pokemon you've named so far have been familiar.
Okay. Okay.
As far as their types. Uh well, we have an earth, wind, and fire that you gave me, essentially.
Earth, wind, and fire.
Is a joke. Because grass is on the earth.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Is there like a is there something related to like the sky or
There is. It's just not called like a wind type or air type.
okay. Uh and then beyond that I don't even know what kind of types there would be.
Can you guess what type Pikachu would be?
He said he shoots lightning bolts.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Thunder, lightning, storm,
Electric.
electric.
He's an electric type.
Okay.
So I will be naming all the types for you, just so you can get excited.
And there will be a quiz afterwards.
I thought about that. I did think about that. So we have obviously the fire, water, grass. We have normal, which this is reserved for basically Pokemon that are just like that look like real life animals.
Okay.
Pretty much it. There's the fighting type, which is just fighting. It's whatever. Don't need to worry about that. Now, the closest thing to air is going to be the flying type.
Okay.
This is reserved for Pokemon that can fly, which that's actually what Charizard is. He's a fire flying type, not a fire dragon type, which is controversial.
Because that makes so much sense.
Because he looks like a dragon. But dragon didn't. No, dragon did get added. What am I saying? Dragon. Yeah. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Right.
Okay.
There's the poison type. There's the electric type that we did talk about. There is ground and rock types. They are distinct.
Okay.
Ground is more like moles and stuff and like things that live in the ground, while rock is more like actual, like this Pokemon is a rock. Like there's a Pokemon called Geodude who's just a literal like rock with fists. We have a psychic type, we have ice, which is different from water,
Mm-hmm.
bug type, which is essentially what it sounds, dragon type, which you'd think was what Charizard would be, but he's not, ghost type, which is one of the Pokemon that actually has like immunities to other Pokemon. So some Pokemon types actually can't even damage ghost types. We have steel, we have dark, and we have the newest one, fairy.
Fairy. Interesting. It's not one for one, but it's a similar vibe to all the different types of dragons that we talked about last episode.
Yes, actually, very, very, very close. Yeah, there's obviously a lot more types here. People want more types to be added to the game, but these are the 18 that we have right now. And each type interacts with each other. So a fire type is going to be able to really hurt a grass type because fire doesn't like grass, or grass doesn't like fire. But they're not going to be able to hurt a water type very easily because water trumps fire, and then fire trumps grass. So grass trumps water.
Of course.
Yeah, that's not every Pokemon type has a triangle effect like that.
Uh-huh.
But that's what the starter types have. Like there, for instance, steel does really good against rock type because steel does good against a lot of stuff because steel is harder than rock.
Mm-hmm.
Poison doesn't do too well against is it bug type? Yeah, it's bug type because bugs are typically poisonous. Flying does really good against bug type because it's like birds.
Yeah.
So like birds, bugs, just like there's like different things like that.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. I understand it.
Yeah, really cool. And each Pokemon has at least one type, but they can be multi-typed. Like we talked about with Charizard again, he's fire flying.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if there's a fire also does really good against bug. So if he has a fire or a flying move that he can attack a bug, it actually does 4 times damage instead of 2 times damage because it's double typed against a bug.
Mm-hmm.
So Pokemon isn't just the video games; it's also the anime and the cards and the merch and the theme parks and all that. It is the biggest franchise in the world for a reason.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. There's Pokemon trading card hype right now. Like there are literally videos of people getting into fights over these cards, like which is crazy. I buy a couple, I have a couple, but I'm not buying them to like sell them. I'm just buying them because they're cool,
Right.
which is kind of crazy because it is at the end of the day like a kid's game.
Mhm.
So like these like grown men fighting over these cards is kind of insane, but does well.
It's no different than sports trading cards.
Exactly, yeah. But they have cool art. You have imagine like a Squirtle squad. For those who know will know.
Gang gang.
All right, Austin. So we talked about generations.
Mm-hmm.
And each game has a generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to run down kind of the history of these Pokemon games. Now, I will be mainly focusing on the games here, not the trading cards, but or the anime. But just so you know, around every time a new game comes out, the trading cards and the anime will follow suit with that new generation. So whenever I talk about a game, typically the anime will head in that direction of that game.
It's all coordinated in some
Yeah,
sense.
pretty much. Yeah, not one to one,
Mm-hmm.
but if like we'll get to Generation 3 because there's at least 3. Um, Ash will go and find Ash Ketchum will go and find uh out whatever all that is,
Uh-huh.
which is really funny. By the way, his name is Ash Ketchum, and what's the tagline for Pokemon?
Gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah, exactly. It's like very like oh,
I think that was on purpose.
very much so, very much so. So starting off in oh, sorry, I don't know why I wrote this. I wrote for some reason here 2026. I don't know what was going through my mind. In February 27th, 1996, um, Generation 1 released with Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green. Now, these were originally released on the Game Boy. Included 151 Pokemon to catch and evolve. Now, not all of them could be caught by one person. As you take a notice here, it's Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green. 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Every generation releases with at least 2 games
Interesting.
because they wanted people to interact and trade with each other. So not every Pokemon is in every game.
Okay.
So there are some Pokemon in Pokemon Red that you can't get in Pokemon Green and vice versa.
And so because you'd mentioned the trading earlier on, so it makes sense that you can't catch all of them. You have to trade for some of them. That's a cool gameplay aspect. If they're 2 separate games, but you can still interact, how does that work? Does your account carry over to one game, the other?
So this is 1996.
I know.
Isn't that crazy? There's a linking cable for the Game Boys
Okay.
that you'd attach to each Game Boy, and you could trade between those two. Now, both games had the capacity to have both Pokemon, or all 151 Pokemon in each game. It just you couldn't get them
Yeah.
unless you traded. So it's kind of weird. Like it's just something you don't really see too often of like games now. Like they want you to be able to do everything, especially like in RPGs, which Pokemon you would consider an RPG, a very kiddie RPG, but still an RPG. And just the fact that you can't get everything on your own
Right.
made the need for friends to also have the game very important.
I think it's a cool aspect still. It's a cool idea. But yeah, you unless you unless you just get both and say that you unlocked both.
But remember, you need still another system.
I know.
Which I will say, I was going to bring this up a little later. We're going to bring it up now. Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Leaf Green just came out for the Switch. These are the remastered versions of this game because this game was in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Those were in color. I don't know like anybody who has just a Fire Red or Leaf Green on their Switch because I really need to trade.
Yeah.
I really want my Gengars.
Well, start reaching out, Caleb. You have a platform now.
I'm trying to make somebody get Leaf Green because I got Fire Red because I wanted Arcanine. All right. But yeah, so the anime series would follow with Ash Ketchum in 1997, I think it was, and also the trading card game. So we have 3 different kind of corners of the media market all getting hit with Pokemon kind of at once.
Mm-hmm.
And it took off. Obviously now how big Pokemon is. So this Pokemon game was set in the region of Kanto. So this is just the area where it is because each Pokemon game takes place in a new area.
Okay.
And then a little bit later, before the release of Generation 2, we got Pokemon Blue, which Pokemon Blue is kind of weird. It was like a exclusive, like mail in order only type of game. Uh, and then we had Pokemon Yellow, which was like the North American release a little later. But then eventually all four were able to be sold and bought.
Mm-hmm.
But so there's 4 games of Generation 1 so far. Also, I will note too, I will be going by the Japanese dates of release, not the North American dates of release. So, Pokemon took off. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should also mention you have a rival. Every game you have a rival, and whatever Pokemon you pick. So if you pick Charmander, your rival will pick Squirtle. Your rival will always pick the Pokemon that has a better type or has a type that goes against yours.
Okay.
So if you pick Bulbasaur, they'll pick Charmander. If you pick Squirtle, they'll pick Bulbasaur.
Gotcha.
And this is a staple for every game as well. And you can name your rival. All right. So we have next in 1999 Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver.
Okay.
This game would bring 100 more new Pokemon to the world of Pokemon, bring the total of Pokemon to 251 Pokemon.
Already seems like a lot.
Austin, I will be telling you how many Pokemon get added each generation.
Okay.
And I'll be telling you the grand total every generation.
Okay.
You want to take a guess on how many Pokemon there are right now? Or how they're right now in the current generation we are at?
You said there's at least 3 generations. So I'm going to ballpark it around 400.
All right. All right. We'll see if you are correct. This was a very important game because it included many Pokemon who didn't have any evolutions to kind of include their evolutions. So, they made Pikachu and Raichu, who was only a 2-stage evolution, into a 3-stage evolution with the introduction of their baby Pokemon, Pichu. So now it went Pichu, Pikachu, Raichu. And this would go for a couple others. There was Cleffa for Clefairy. There was Igglybuff for Jigglypuff. And then there was Elekid for Electabuzz, which Electabuzz was a 1-stage, so he didn't evolve, he or she, because Pokemon can be boys or girls.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a 1-stage evolution. This turned it into a 2-stage evolution. So this is a theme throughout all the generations, is that they add a bunch of new Pokemon, but they also give some Pokemon that didn't have evolutions, some evolutions as well. So this took place in Johto, the new region, but you could also visit Kanto in the game, which is actually very important to the end of the game, because spoiler alerts, you actually fight the previous your previous character.
Oh.
So yeah, your character canonically is named Red.
Okay.
And you actually fight yourself from the last game.
That's fun.
Which is very cool.
Uh-huh.
The anime would correspond with this, and with the regions and the Pokemon of the current generation. So we have Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver, but we also a little bit later, same as Pokemon Red and Green, they released Pokemon Crystal, which is kind of like the same generation, just an updated version of the game. This one was cool because you got to play as a female protagonist as well, all the way back in 1999. Or I guess it was like 2000, roughly. These games would be remastered with Heart Gold and Soul Silver a little later, but we will get to that when we get to that. So, Austin, we are at Generation 3 now.
Yes.
We have Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Sapphire.
Okay.
This generation added 135 Pokemon,
Gee.
bringing the total to 386, and took place in Hoenn.
So there's only 14 more left. Remember that.
Only 14 left. This actually was played on the Game Boy Advance. This game introduced double battles, so you could battle two Pokemon against two Pokemon, which
Okay.
is really cool. This would also release with Pokemon Emerald. You guys may know Pokemon Emerald for having Rayquaza on the box, the kind of green snake-looking Pokemon.
Sounds vaguely familiar
Vaguely
from my childhood.
It also had Kyogre and Groudon.
Those do not
No?
sound familiar.
This game would be remastered a little later by Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So, Austin,
Yeah.
there are not just 3 generations, because we're on generation 4 now. My personal favorite generation, but it was because it was the generation that I first started with. Because it took place, or it came out in 2006. My game came out in 2007, but this came out in 2006 with Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl.
Okay.
This was played on Nintendo DS, so it upgraded from the Game Boy Advance to the DS, and I think everybody our age had some sort of DS at the time.
I think what did the Game Boy Advance look like?
I had a Game Boy Advance too. I never played Pokemon on it, but it was kind of like just a one-screen DS.
What was the Game Boy where it was essentially just a square, like a cube, and you opened it?
I think that was the Game Boy Advance.
Okay, because I had that, and then I also had a DS.
Yes. I think everybody around our age. I mean, I almost said it. Around 7 years old. I'm not gonna say it this time. Around 7 years old. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Because it sucks. Because it's literally like 2006 and 2007. Shut up. We're around 6 or 7 years old. Shut up. Oh God. This game.
Only the YouTube will get to enjoy that. Sorry.
This game was the first to introduce 3D graphics, and it actually came out with Pokemon Platinum as well, which is my personal favorite Pokemon game. It is, I think, one of the best, or it is the best Pokemon game to me personally, even though I do love Pokemon, a bunch of the Pokemon games. It's just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was also helped by the fact that I was about 7 to 8 years old,
mm-hmm.
and I had a DS, and like that's all I'd play.
Right.
And also had my favorite starter, which is Infernape.
Infernape? Interesting name.
It's a fire monkey Pokemon.
Oh.
Mhm.
Of course.
Yeah.
They try not to trick you on these, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
If you guys can't tell, I'm a fire type starter except for my beloved Totodile. He's the only water type I'll pick because I love him.
Is that a mix of a toad and a crocodile?
Kinda. It's definitely a crocodile.
Okay.
All right, but you can tell I got really into Pokemon this time because this would also coincide with the release of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Now these were the remastered versions of Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver. Now I love these games too, and this is where because I was way too young to play. Actually, we weren't even born when Gold and Silver came out.
Right.
So I couldn't. There's no way I could play that, and I'm not gonna play a really old game on a really old Game Boy. But these came out on the DS, and they were amazing. Shout out Ho-Ho, the legendary bird.
Merry Christmas.
Also, should probably get to this. This introduced 107 new Pokemon.
Just a lot.
They're bringing the total to 493.
Are they so like how many of these are just evolutions and how many are like standalone new ones?
It depends on each generation.
You gotta run out of ideas at some point.
You would think, Austin. You would think. They've gotten pretty creative though, I will say. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd say it ranges from about like 10 to 20%
Yeah.
of the Pokemon that get added are gonna be like already established Pokemons like generations, because they keep adding a ton of new Pokemon that don't have evolutions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we can give it like we can't figure out what Pokemon to do. We'll give them a baby evolution, which a
Yeah.
baby evolution is like the Pichu of.
Right.
Also, these would be remastered later with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Some of the two worst Pokemon games ever made. All right. So now we have Gen 5. In 2011 and 2012, we have Pokemon Black and White and Pokemon Black and White 2. So this is the only Pokemon game to get a direct sequel.
Interesting.
Or this is also released on the DS. The naming convention really kind of took a downturn. Like, oh, we have like all this cool Diamond and Pearl, Black and White.
Good enough.
Yeah.
The world's gonna end in 2012. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like whatever. Unironically, some of the best Pokemon. These are just considered some of the best Pokemon games too.
Fair.
They're pretty good. Austin, can you take a guess on how many Pokemon they added this generation?
Well, we don't like to follow any specific formula for it, so I'm gonna guess. How much do I want to guess? I'm gonna guess 127.
You are incorrect, and you're close. 156,
Okay.
the most of any generation to be added, bringing the grand total to 649 Pokemon.
A lot.
It is a lot.
Getting up there.
Oh, I should say I forgot to write these down. Whatever. That's fine. Oh, yeah, whatever. That's fine. We'll get to that. These all take place in different regions. Forgot to add for Gen 4. Gen 4 takes place in Sinnoh. All right, about that. Yeah, Gen 4 takes place in Sinnoh. I didn't even need to write that down because I love it so much. Right? Yeah. Gen 4 takes place in Sinnoh because I love it so much. All right. And this takes unless this takes place in Sinnoh. One of these two takes place in Sinnoh. But we have Generation 6, Austin, in 2013. This is going to be Pokemon X and Pokemon Y.
Finally switching up from colors or that related.
Yep. Hey, we're just guys, I'm just going to put some math in here now for you.
And I got rid of this after the first grade.
This took place in Kalos on the 3DS.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
This unfortunately only added 72 new Pokemon. They were like, guys, we can't.
It's getting ridiculous.
Bring the total to 721. But it did have some cool new features with adding the fairy type, because there was only 17 types until X and Y, adding the fairy type. Fairy type is considered the best type in the game, and it's the most recent. So have at that what you will.
Interesting.
And it also introduced Mega Evolutions. So this is the start of when Pokemon games would introduce little gimmicks to their games. Mega Evolutions just made the Pokemon bigger and cooler.
Yeah.
Charizard is known as one of the most popular Pokemon. He's also known as having the most evolutions out of any Pokemon. He got a Mega Evolution. He got a different type of evolution too. He got a ton of different evolutions. All right. We are not done yet, Austin, with the generations. Because we have Generation 7.
So Generation 6 came out when?
2013.
Okay.
And Generation 7 came out in 2016 with the release of Sun and Moon.
Really just going all over the place.
No, they're like, we needed something cool. You can kind of see where like, what are some cool things that can coincide with each other, that kind of relate to each other.
Right. Like, so Sun and Moon, X and Y, I understand that. I could not figure out, other than Black and White, I couldn't figure out the color choices or like the Diamond versus Pearl or whatever it was.
I think it's like, like Ruby and Sapphire, that's like gems. and they're red and
Yeah.
they're like red and blue. Like,
That one does make
mm.
sense. Yeah.
I think the one Diamond and Pearl probably makes the least sense, and then Platinum too. You're
Yeah.
like, guys, okay. Um, I do think also, uh, what is it? Gold and silver makes sense. Red and green, blue, yellow. Like kind of, they just like colors.
Looked at the color wheel and said, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. You can kind of see they're always trying to have like something like, hey, these two go with each other.
Right.
So this would take place in Alola. This is supposed to be Hawaii, essentially, of the Pokemon universe. It added 88 new Pokemon, bringing the grand total to 109. There's also Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which added content that came out a little later. These added a lot of new regional forms of Pokemon. So there's a Pokemon called Rattata and Raticate. This added a new type, which would add the dark typing to them for that region. So they were like there's different, like there's different horses. It's like this horse is from Europe. This horse is from Asia.
Okay.
It's essentially what that is. It's like they're the same, but they're different as well.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of the idea was, and it made it a lot easier to add Pokemon because it's like it's this type Pokemon
Right.
instead.
Got to get creative at some point.
Exactly. This took away Mega Evolutions and added Z moves, which are just like special types of Pokemons, or special types of moves that Pokemons can do. All right, so let's get out of that stupid era of the 3DS, and we finally got Nintendo's best-selling console of all time, the Nintendo Switch. Austin, this would release in Generation 8 in 2019 with Pokemon Sword and Pokemon
Shield.
Yes, you got it right. I knew you'd get that right. This is the Switch game in the Galar region. This would add 96 Pokemon for a grand total of 905. This also released with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Do you know who Eevee is?
No, I don't think that one rings a bell, to be honest.
The Pokemon where it can evolve into a ton of different types of Pokemon. So there's like Flareon, Jolteon, Leafeon, Vaporeon. You may have heard the memes about Vaporeon.
Can't say I have.
Good. Don't.
Okay.
Do not look them up.
Is this supposed to be like an OP Pokemon or
No.
just kind of a...
No, we're going to stop it there.
I'm talking about Eevee.
Oh, Eevee. Like Eevee, they're just cool because they have so many different like types they can turn into.
Okay.
Like there's like a Sylveon, there's just a ton of different types. Like it's essentially they don't have every, like it can't turn into every type. Like a Flareon is a fire, Vaporeon's a water, Leafeon is grass. But like I think eventually their plan is, or maybe is to get every single different type of Eevee.
Okay.
This would also be released around the same time in this generation with Legends Arceus. Arceus is like the Pokemon god. This was a really cool game. It was like a more open world 3D type of Pokemon that like you'd go around catching Pokemon like in an open world instead of like a handcrafted world.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. It's very, very popular, very like well received game. All right. We're getting down to it, Austin. Generation 9. The most recent generation. 9 generations. With Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet in 2023. This would take place in Paldea. They're like, hey, we're going to go hard this time. 120 new Pokemon. For a grand and final total of 1,025 Pokemon currently in the Pokemon universe.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Is there people out there that have most, if not all of these? Is it even possible?
Yes. There's actually a video that I was watching of a guy catching every single Pokemon in order.
That sounds like hell.
Because there's a thing called a Pokédex.
Yeah, okay, that seems familiar.
Yes, which it basically just lists people. The whole part of the goal of the games is to become like the grand champion of the Pokemon, like the best Pokemon trainer, but also to fill out your Pokédex.
Mm-hmm.
And 1,025 of them. That's a lot of Pokemon to catch.
Yeah.
And there's things of not every game has every Pokemon either.
Right.
So that is a little difficult to do, but yeah, a lot of Pokemon. And this would also come with the most recent release of Legends Z to A. Not a well received game, but most recent Pokemon game. But we just got an announcement of Generation 10, which is to be added for their date, Winds and Waves, which looks very, very interesting and cool.
Right on. Do we know how many new Pokemon are being added?
No, it's they're aiming for I think a 2027 release. My guess is they're either going to add an insane amount or they're going to add very little but add all 1025 Pokemon into the game at some point to try to get maybe not all 1025 because some of the Pokemon are legendary that can only be caught in their games, like Arceus and Garantida. They're like Pokemon God and Devil.
Okay.
And it's like, what are they doing in this game? But otherwise, yeah. So that is the kind of brief history and rundown of the Pokemon video games and all their generations. Do you have any questions about Pokemon, Austin?
Questions, maybe not as much as reactions. 1,000 is a lot.
Yeah, I know, it's insane. Like there are people that can name every single Pokemon. I will say, I do love Pokemon. There is no chance in hell I could name anything from the last like 4 generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe like 1 or 2.
Have you just fallen out of it?
Yeah, kinda. I think Black and White was my last like true Pokemon game I played. I played a couple, every so now and then on my phone, but I am a stickler for like the original generations because that's it is like what I kind of grew up with.
Right.
And as I got like Pokemon Black and White is the same year that Skyrim came out.
Oh.
So it's like that was kind of my transfer into like more mature games and like games like Skyrim and stuff like that and Fallout.
Right.
Which kind of pushed Pokemon aside, but before that I was all in on the Pokemon games.
Yeah. I guess, and I mean, you said, I'm sorry, I'm looking for my freaking water bottle. Hid it away. I've been thirsty for so long. You said it. It's kind of more of a kiddie game, but that doesn't, obviously, a lot of people are into it. It doesn't mean you have to be a kid to play it, but it makes sense that one would grow out of it eventually.
Exactly. And I don't think growing out of it more as, because I didn't really want to get into this. Nintendo does not make it easy to play the older games.
Is there a reason for that?
There's a whole thing about like everybody's been clamoring for the games, which is why it was so crazy they released Fire Red and Leaf Green for the Switch, because that's Generation 1 and that's what people have been wanting for so long is the Pokemon games on the Switch, like a officially licensed release for newer consoles, and they finally did it. Which is what's so crazy. Otherwise, people use emulators, which hopefully we don't get in trouble for even saying emulators. But emulators basically just allow you to play the game. It's technically legal.
Riding the line.
Yeah, it's very much riding the line. But that's kind of how people have been able to play the older games, because otherwise Nintendo is not releasing these older games on hardware that is no longer made. Like, you can't, like, to get a DS, a good working DS, expensive and hard, and then to get a game like cartridge of the game you want to play that's legit is expensive and also hard to get as well. So it's kind of thing of, hey, guys, please just release an actual port of the game to the Switch.
Right.
That's what everybody wants. And they just released Fire Red and Leaf Green, so here's hoping for Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Gotcha. Yeah, it seems like part of the Nintendo fan base is the type of gamer that really enjoys playing on older consoles or just having older consoles, or they're that type of collector, you know, but it makes accessibility for everybody else difficult, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, there's that thing of like, well, because Nintendo is very much against emulators and will try everything in their power to get people to not use emulators. But they're also not releasing the older games on the newer consoles. So it's like, hey, like I'll give you an example of, you can still go out and buy Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3, which came out in 2003, for like your computer or your Xbox or whatever. Like, you can still play that and buy it. You can't with Nintendo games like Pokemon and stuff. Like, it's very, very difficult to do that because they just don't have the right ports for it, or the right, like, it just, like, not everybody has their DS. Like, I am really sad because I have my DS. I don't know where my Pokemon games are, so that's why I've been like,
Right.
whatever. I guess I'll never play Pokemon again. And now they're giving me hope with Fire Red, so hopefully they continue this path. But it's just like when you make it super hard for people to play your older games, and then you don't allow them to, what essentially is like pseudo pirating them.
Yeah.
It's that, hey, why? Like, you can make money off this, or you can just let us have our fun because you're not doing anything with the game.
Right.
So,
An ongoing battle, but certainly an interesting topic. That's yeah, I probably tripled, quadrupled my Pokemon knowledge in just those 40 minutes. So, thank you, Caleb. I appreciate that.
I'll give you another Pokemon. Grimer.
No.
All right.
Grimer. My first thought was Rick Grimes. My second thought was like a mechanic Pokemon that's all grimy.
I mean, it's basically just like, yeah, that's basically what the Pokemon is. You know Ditto. The little purple dude with like just really like dots his eyes.
Maybe if I seen him.
Ditto is the Pokemon that could turn into any other Pokemon if they see him.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for listening to my side. Austin, what do we have today on your side? The balls side.
As far as the English language, I could use Ditto, but I don't think I could.
Let's start talking ball, man.
Okay, fine. I'll do it. Right, Caleb, thank you. I'm excited today because I am back to baseball. It's been a while, as I established earlier. I don't need to sing Stained again, but that's the band that wrote It's Been a While.
Oh, okay. No knowledge of that at all.
Welcome to my music podcast. I am hijacking the show.
It's actually ballets and blasters.
Dun, 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 dun. It's been about a month and a half, and I'm excited to get back to baseball. Caleb, do you even remember the last baseball topic I talked about?
Service time.
I think I can't remember if it was service time. Might have been 2 episodes ago.
That was 2 baseball episodes ago.
I think the last baseball topic was the Curse of the Bambino.
Yeah, it was. No, that's right. That's right. That's what it is.
Which is wild because that seems like forever ago to me.
That was pre-Christmas, right? Or no?
It had to have been.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while. But we're back, and I have topical news, Caleb.
Ooh.
Do you know what starts this week, Caleb? Actually, it starts today. It's probably going on right now.
The Combine for baseball.
No, unfortunately. There actually is a baseball combine. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I actually didn't. I was completely guessing.
There is a baseball combine, but that happens later in the year. Uh, the World Baseball Classic
Oh, in March?
in March.
Where does this take place in?
It takes place everywhere, Caleb. It's the
Oh.
World Baseball Classic.
Oh, okay, okay.
This is something I'm going to teach probably a lot of the viewers about today. Certainly you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people probably don't know that there is an international event that baseball has that is actually kind of a big thing.
Like a World Cup almost?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, there used to be a baseball World Cup. We'll get into it.
Oh, okay.
It's funny because you talked about, Pokemon, Nintendo, and Japan, and Japan will come up quite a bit in this.
I know that Japan loves baseball.
And that is our tie-in for today's episode. All right, let's get started. The World Baseball Classic, Caleb.
Mhm.
Before we get to what is now known as the World Baseball Classic, we first must understand the history of international baseball competition, which is to say that there hasn't been a lot of international baseball competition in history. There has been, but it's not really been that big of a deal.
Mhm.
I guess the baseball world just doesn't take international play super seriously up until these days, up until now.
Mm.
So, once upon a time, there was a federation, the International Baseball Federation, and they put on what was called the Baseball World Cup 38 times between 1938 and 2011. So, it is very consistent.
A long time.
Yes, a very long time. This Baseball World Cup took place. It was baseball's world championship. I put that in the parentheses because in Major League Baseball, it's the World Series, and they call it the World Champion.
We're the world champions,
which is
of America.
The most American thing ever.
The Super Bowl.
Yes. That one always gets me. It's like, we're the only country that plays this freaking sport, man. Anyways, the Baseball World Cup would decide the world champion. It was also known as the Amateur World Series. Why was it known as the Amateur World Series? We will get to that in a couple bullet points. The first winner of the Baseball World Cup was actually Great Britain.
Really? Did those cricket skills transfer over?
They must have. Baseball was a much different game back then. Although a common misconception is that baseball and cricket are related. Baseball is very much a different sport than cricket. Baseball actually evolves from a game called rounders, which I believe was also invented overseas in the Great Britain area. Rounders, compared to today's game, definitely not the same thing, but I think that kind of got brought over to America, and America was like, we can do something with this.
And call it baseball.
Now we
you
have
run to the bases.
And there's balls.
Just like your side.
Dun, 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 dun. The first winner of the Baseball World Cup, which the very first one was in 1938, Great Britain defeated the United States in a 5-game series. As I had mentioned, this Baseball World Cup had taken place 38 times in its existence, and Cuba won this Baseball World Cup the most times. They won it 25 times.
Dang.
Cuba, obviously not the biggest island, not the biggest population, but they love baseball. Mm-hmm. You can say that about the Caribbean and Central America in general.
Castro was like, you guys better be putting your lives on the line for these balls.
So yes, Cuba, big winners of this Baseball World Cup. They won it pretty much all the time. And then also, as far as international competition, we just had the Winter Olympics. Mm-hmm. In the Summer Olympics, baseball has been played off and on in the Summer Olympics ever since 1912. But it wasn't until 1984 that baseball was recognized as a demonstration sport. Caleb, do you know what a demonstration sport is?
I do not.
I didn't know either. A demonstration sport is essentially a game that is promoted at or by the Olympics, but there is no medal handed out.
Oh, just like for fun?
Pretty much.
Like, hey, have fun, guys.
Like, it took until the 80s, but the Olympics was like, yeah, baseball. Here it is.
Like an intermission game.
Pretty much is how it was treated. And then 8 years later, in 1992, the Olympics finally made baseball a medal sport. Um, it's so I say off and on participation at the Olympics. Outside of East Asia and North America, stretching down to Central America, really no other part of the world plays baseball. So when other countries host the Olympics, like when the summer games were in London or Beijing or Brazil, there's no baseball at these Summer Olympics because those countries don't really care about baseball. China kind of does. It's more Chinese Taipei, as we'll mention later, that cares about baseball. Um, so, and then baseball was essentially dropped in 2012 from the Olympics because they're like, we never play this freaking thing. Nobody cares. And then the Olympics added it back in 2020. Is like, okay, it's optional. So I believe for the Summer Olympics coming up, or yeah, I can't remember. Are the Summer Olympics coming to the U.S. soon? I thought that was maybe announced at one point. I know the FIFA World Cup is coming to North America.
I think it's America this year.
That feels right. I probably should look this up. But if that is true, then baseball will be a part of it, and we'll see how many professionals actually take part in it. I had mentioned that the Baseball World Cup that existed for quite a few decades was known as the Amateur World Series. Essentially, all the pro sports / the Olympics didn't allow professional players to participate in baseball at the Olympics. And the Baseball World Cup always took place when all these other professional leagues were playing their regular seasons, and those owners and players associations did not want to let their players go play in that competition.
It's like, you guys, this is way more important than some stupid Olympics.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's kind of how the Olympic baseball or the Baseball World Cup was treated. So, yes, this did change in the 90s. Both the Baseball World Cup and the Olympics opened up their competitions to pro players in the 90s, but few professionals cared to participate or were even allowed to. But right around this time, when the Olympics and the Baseball World Cup were like, hey, we want pros to play in these events, then Major League Baseball got the idea of, I wonder if there is an appetite for a top level world competition involving the great sport of baseball. So ideas started percolating in the 90s.
Percolating.
It's a fun word. And then eventually, a man by the name of Gene Orza, who was a part of the MLB Players Association, began campaigning for a new world championship for baseball, and he enlisted the help of the International Baseball Federation, their president, Aldo Notari. It's either Notari or Notary. He's an Italian, so I don't know how you would. And then in 2005, MLB Commissioner Bud Selig and MLB Players Association President Donald Fehr announced the first World Baseball Classic would be played in 2006. This is a very recent event. It's very new. We were 6 years old when this was announced.
I was 6 years old.
5 or 6.
I was probably 5.
Yeah. And this was a big time deal that the commissioner of Major League Baseball was coming out saying this because they were promoting it as professional players will be playing in this event.
Okay, so they're taking them from the teams, the MLB.
So, and essentially, this first edition of the World Baseball Classic was successful enough that they immediately planned for a follow-up event in 2009. There was just a quick wrap-up on the background of international baseball. In 2013, Remember, we had the International Baseball Federation. They merged with the International Softball Federation and formed the World Baseball Softball Confederation. Lots of Asians and baseballs going on. But the new one, the one that matters, World Baseball Softball Confederation. And with this merger, the Baseball World Cup was canned. Said, "See you later. Get out of here. You're not an event that we're going to hold anymore." And the WBC would become baseball's sole world championship. Of quick note, there is a separate baseball tournament, international tournament that gets played called the WBSC Premier 12 tournament, which is an interesting name. It's not super popular in North America, the Caribbean, Central America. It's much more popular in Eastern Asia, but it's essentially another international tournament that gets played. Yeah, but basically Major League Baseball prohibits their players from participating in this other tournament, but they allow them to play in the World Baseball Classic. So the World Baseball Classic gets all the shine, and that's part of the reason why it's considered the World Championship for baseball, because typically some of the better players in the world participate.
Okay.
So, Caleb, that is my very brief rundown of international baseball and the history of it. Do you have any comments or questions thus far?
Does Shohei play for Japan?
He sure does.
Okay.
He will be
question so far.
he will be a pivotal part of our later discussions in this topic.
Oh, okay.
Cool note. I will just refer.
Is there a lot of gambling going on?
No. Fun note. I do refer to Japan as just Japan, but they're actually called Samurai Japan.
Why is that?
I don't know, but that's how that's their official
Nippon
name.
Samurai.
The Nippon Professional Baseball, the NPB, will come up right now, actually.
Oh, perfect.
For those unaware, Caleb, what is Nippon?
Nippon desu is the correct way to say Japan, because you are technically saying the Portuguese word for Japan when you say Japan. In the native tongue of Japanese, it is called Nippon.
Nippon, which is why their professional baseball league, the NPB, Nippon Professional Baseball.
Yeah.
There's obviously an actual Japanese way to say it. I don't know that, and I'm not going to try to even attempt to butcher it. So
Nippon. Just say Nippon desu.
So, some resistance before the first WBC was taking place. Remember, the first World Baseball Classic was announced in 2005 to be played in 2006, but there's some kinks that had to be ironed out. MLB owners were concerned about their star players participating in this tournament and getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Which is why you'd made the comment earlier, Caleb. It's March. Why are they playing baseball?
Yeah.
Part of the agreement to even get this across the finish line was that, much like the NHL did with the Winter Olympics, how the Winter Olympics were essentially in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So they stopped NHL play for a couple of weeks, sent all their players over, then the players came back, which caused a schedule where it was a much more condensed first half schedule and a much more condensed second half schedule, because they want to make sure you basically want the off season to stay the same. Baseball was resistant to this type of idea, mainly because there's 162 games and you can't just schedule 35 doubleheaders and cancel 2 weeks of baseball.
Well, yeah. How many games are played a week? Like on average?
A lot of teams will play 6 games in a week.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like you're playing, you get 1 day of rest.
Pretty much. 5, usually 6 games a week. Just depends on when the off days fall. So the owners were concerned about their star players getting hurt before spring training and the regular season starts, And the Players Association was also concerned about the type of drug testing that would be required for this event. Um,
Because Barry Bonds.
this is very topical, Caleb. MLB wanted the much. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm like, whoa. I can't believe I'm hitting all these.
I have a note that will come into play. MLB wanted the stricter Olympic testing for drug testing. The Players Association wanted MLB's more lax standards for drug testing. It's important to note, remember, this is 2005. We are coming out of the time in history in Major League Baseball called the steroid era.
What an era. Crazy.
Obviously, Barry Bonds being the poster child for such an era.
Hey, he still had to hit those. He deserves it.
Had to have the hand eye. Hey, I'm on the Barry Bonds train. He's my GOAT personally. That might be controversial to some out there, but
It's like, hey, he still had to make contact. That's hard.
preaching to the choir, buddy. Preaching to the choir.
That's like all I know about that.
That is true though. I would consider Barry Bonds my GOAT. Fight me on it. Don't fight me, please. A deal was eventually reached between Major League Baseball and its Players Association. Can never get away from these two. On both insurance for player contracts and a compromise in the drug testing, which was strict, not Olympic strict, but strict. The insurance on player contracts is important, and there's a footnote to this for the current iteration of the WBC going on. Insurance for player contracts essentially being, if this player gets hurt, the owners don't want to be on the hook for paying out their player when they didn't get hurt playing for them, essentially. But it's also, I think, insurance for players in the sense that we'll cover some of it should you get hurt. So there's some sort of deal there. I don't know all the weeds of it, but that's a pretty big contention point because the owners are like, we'll let you go play, but we're not going to, be on the hook for your entire contract.
We don't care about this stupid world championship. If it's not making me money.
That's true, though, Caleb. That's exactly what it is. Oh, and the footnote for today's game, or this year's World Baseball Classic, Puerto Rico is suffering very badly from this because their players some of their star players couldn't get insurance. So Puerto Rico usually puts together a very good, very talented baseball roster for these things.
Is Puerto Rico not Team America?
Not
the U.S.?
Not for these ones.
Oh,
no.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
A native Puerto Rican could play for the USA. Mm-hmm. Most of them, I assume, have pride in their island, in their country, and would prefer to play for Puerto Rico instead. But they are two different teams for this tournament.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. Quite honestly, I think it's because there's a lot of Puerto Rican baseball players.
Yeah.
And, we'll get an idea of how much baseball is left in Puerto Rico in a second here. MLB teams, as far as resistance to the first World Baseball Classic, MLB teams would also not be able to directly block their players from participating. So if a player wants to play, the owner can't say no.
Okay.
Which is cool. Nippon Professional Baseball also have their own concerns regarding the timing of the tournament and their representation for the future iterations of this World Baseball Classic. Essentially, the NPB was like, okay, that's awesome, this idea you have, and we're happy you're sending your players and you have your own agreements, but we also have our players. Because most of Samurai Japan is players from Japan playing in their professional baseball leagues. Like, if we're going to send our guys halfway across the world, we want some say in how this all goes down. Mm-hmm. But they eventually sent a memo and accepted the invite, and Japan's going to participate, which is huge because they are the second best country in the world when it comes to playing baseball.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to call it a World Baseball Classic without them.
They're like, it's like basically MLB level at this point, right?
It's pretty close. Some people will fight you on that. I wouldn't say. I would say the very top level of player in Japan is absolutely Major League Baseball quality. Shohei Ohtani. It's the depth below that where Major League Baseball has the advantage.
Okay.
So there's Major League Baseball, there's AAA, AA, single A, yada yada. The NPB is probably somewhere between AAA or maybe even quadruple A. Kind of that fine line, but very, very good competition. And there's a lot of Americans that actually flame out playing Major League Baseball, go to Japan, make some good money, revitalize their careers, rework themselves, and then come back.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So there's plenty of good stories like that. So, all right, Caleb, it's enough talking about how we got to the World Baseball Classic. Let's actually talk about the World Baseball
Let's
Classic.
get to the meat and potatoes of this thing.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 generations per se.
Generations.
Chapters we'll go with of this World Baseball Classic, not including our current one this year. 2006 and 2009. Japan goes back to back.
Like in winning?
Like we're going back to back. Yes, Caleb.
Get to reading.
So, the very first edition of the WBC 2006, 16 teams were pre-selected. These were selected by, I believe, the World Baseball Softball Confederation as the 16 best baseball playing nations, however they decided that. So no qualifiers were played. You were just selected. The first ever game in the World Baseball Classic saw South Korea beat Chinese Taipei 2-0. First ever game. And then in the semi, we're not going to go through the entire tournament. That's way too much. Japan beat South Korea in one semifinal. Cuba beat the Dominican Republic in the other. And then in the very first World Baseball Classic, Japan beat Cuba 10-6. The very first World Baseball Classic champions.
Okay, 10-6.
Of note, for a structure of how this tournament is played, there's essentially 2 rounds, and then it used to just go straight to like semifinal, final. That nowadays it's 2 rounds, quarters, semis, final. Essentially, for 2006, it was you have 16 teams, you have a round robin format, different pools of teams. You eliminate some, you play another round robin, eliminate more, you have 4 teams left. Now your tournament semifinal final starts. It was controversial because maybe some teams made it farther than they should have just based off run differential and how many games you actually won. We don't need to get into all the weeds of it. 2009, the World Baseball Classic featured the same 16 teams as the first iteration. South Korea defeated Venezuela in one semifinal. Japan defeated the United States in the other semifinal. And Japan defeats South Korea 5-3 in 10 innings to win their second World Baseball Classic, going back to back.
Somebody needs to stop them.
Somebody's got to stop them, Caleb. Of note, the 2009 edition featured a modified double elimination format. So there's 2 rounds at the beginning. There was round robin, and then the second round was double elimination. You essentially play till you lose twice, which is a lot like how the Little League World Series works. Different topic. Also an international baseball competition, but not what we're talking about. Do you know what the Little League World Series is?
Yes, it's just a bunch of kids.
It's like middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes so hard.
It is a lot. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick. All right. Our second chapter of the World Baseball Classic. 2013. Qualifiers have been introduced, and the Caribbean parties.
And somewhere little Caleb is playing Pokemon Black and White too.
Yes, he
Maybe.
is. The Caribbean is partying. Caleb is nerding out on his Pokemon. They're both having fun. They're both where they need to be. 2013, again, the same round robin for the first round, double elimination for the second round, semifinals, finals. Different this time, though, on how the field was selected. The top 12 finishers from 2009 auto qualified for the 2013 tournament. The bottom 4 teams had to attempt to requalify against 12 additional nations.
This is almost like a loser's bracket.
Essentially, it's you finish so low, we're going to make you requalify. And I think this was always the plan. I think they wanted consistency for the first couple, just for people to get the idea of what's going on here. And then as other nations build up and attempt to put together a baseball team, then it's like, okay, we'll give these teams a chance. I should say that you don't have to be born and raised in a country to play for them, like we discussed with Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
For example, there's players that are American but have Mexican heritage that will go play for Mexico.
Okay.
Or in the last World Baseball Classic, there's a man by the name of Randy Arozarena who I can't remember if he's Dominican or Cuban, but his mother was like born in Mexico or something like that. So he decided to go play for Mexico instead. So there's ways to get around. A lot like the Olympics, where's your parent or grandparent from? You can technically go play for them. Mm-hmm. So that's how a lot of these other nations, you're like, what? How does Italy have major baseball players that compete at this tournament? Well, there's players of Italian descent.
So yeah,
you can find a way.
Get them on over here.
So top 12 from 2009 qualify for 2013. The bottom 4 must re-qualify against 12 additional teams. There were 2 new teams for this tournament. I believe Spain and Brazil ended up qualifying for the World Baseball Classic in 2013. But Puerto Rico upsets Japan in the semifinal with a 3-1 score, and the Dominican Republic beats the Netherlands in the other semifinal to advance to the final. The Netherlands also usually has a weirdly talented baseball team because grandparents come from that area.
Yeah.
So yes, they're like, I thought I had an example, but I don't. We'll move on. But yes, again, a lot like most other international competitions, there's ways to get around playing for a country other than where you were born in. I mentioned a Caribbean party, Caleb. The 2013 World Baseball Classic Championship game pits Puerto Rico against the Dominican Republic. 2 baseball-loving nations. To kind of get an idea of how popular this game was, the championship game was held in San Francisco, California. And that place was sold out with nearly 36,000 people in attendance to watch.
That's a lot of people.
A lot of people. For those that are aware of how popular baseball is in Central America and the Caribbean, this wasn't 36,000 Americans. There's quite a few Americans there, but it's a lot of Puerto Rican and Dominican people that are traveling to come and watch.
Puerto Ricans are Americans.
Yes.
Remember this.
Yes, technically. Talking about from the actual, whatever. We're not going to get into that. 36,000 people attended this championship game in San Francisco. In the Dominican Republic, their biggest baseball stadium they have, I don't know how much I believe this because the attendance for that stadium these days is like 12 to 15,000, but there is a field there. Reports say that there was 50,000 people packed in and around the stadium to watch this final, which is insane.
That's crazy. How do you even watch it? Like on screens?
Just on a video board.
Oh.
And then in Puerto Rico, it was the most watched event that year in Puerto Rico with 3/4 of all households watching this baseball
That's crazy.
game. So people are all in on this. Baseball 11 countries. I love it. I love to see it. Grow the game, Caleb. Grow the game.
Grow the game.
Chapter 3, 2017.
Or you would say Generation
I could say, but I'm not. Chapter 3, 2017. America is finally on the board, Caleb.
3. We're so back.
We're so back. For 2017, they returned to the round robin format for the first and second rounds. They're just trying to figure out. They can't figure out how the first 2 rounds should go. How do we eliminate all these teams so we can actually get to our to the best? But they return to a round robin. USA defeats Japan in one semifinal, and Puerto Rico defeats the Netherlands in the other semifinal, which sets up the USA to participate in their first World Baseball Classic final. And they did not mess around, Caleb. They routed Puerto Rico 8-0 to win their first World Baseball Classic. This 2017 tournament was my first exposure to the World Baseball Classic. I had not heard of it until high school. Me was like, what's this thing where Team USA is putting a baseball team together and some of my favorite players are playing for it?
This sounds interesting.
My lasting memory and the reason I love this tournament so much, it helps that the first one I paid attention to, the USA won. That helps a lot. But I'll never forget it. It was the USA playing, I want to say, who does Manny Machado? Is Manny Machado Dominican or? Oh gosh, I'm gonna look this up really quick. I want to make sure I get this right. Manny Machado. I guess technically he is American, but Dominican. Yeah, so it was the USA versus the Dominican Republic.
Mhm.
So I remember this game vividly. It took place in Petco Park in San Diego, California, home of the San Diego Padres. It was getting late in the game, in the later innings, and the USA, I can't remember if it was tied or maybe the DR was winning, but up to bat comes Manny Machado, who played for the Baltimore Orioles at the time, and he crushes a ball deep to center field, and his teammate playing for Team USA, Adam Jones, jumps up, reaches over the wall at the last second, and robs him to like preserve the game from getting out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the U.S. would score, come back, and win that game,
Oh,
which would propel them to go on and win the whole thing. So there's a YouTube video on it, but that's my lasting memory is a teammate robbing another teammate.
Imagine like doing that and like your like best friend is like, screw you.
So Adam Jones gets up and robs it, and Machado rounds first base and gives him like a hat tip, which is a common thing that happens in baseball when the defender makes a good play, tip your cap. But it was also kind of like a F you.
Yeah.
F you for all that. Looking at time here. Okay. Gotcha. So 2023, Caleb.
We're getting close to modern age.
Close to modern age. This is chapter 4. The most recent World Baseball Classic.
Also in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Caleb, I thought this title was clever for chapter 4. The Empire Strikes Back.
The Empire Strikes Back. Who's the Empire?
The Empire Strikes Back.
Is it Nippon des?
Equals Otani over Trout. What does this mean, Caleb?
Shohei.
So, there's a 6-year gap here, which is like, that's weird. This thing has been going on basically every 3 to 4 years. What's up with that? Well, there's this little event that happened halfway between 2017 and 2023 called COVID.
Oh, yeah. That did happen.
So the 2021 World Baseball Classic was canceled because of this pandemic, and the tournament was rescheduled for 2023. That's how we got here. Notable, 2023, the tournament would expand to 20 teams, which is a sign of growth of popularity of the game, I think, which is good. 16 teams from the previous tournament auto qualified, and then there was 4 more additional teams that were decided by a pre-tourney qualifier round. It is important to know that this is the first World Baseball Classic in 6 years, and it's bad timing because 2017, the USA finally wins their first World Baseball Classic. People in the United States are starting to figure out that this exists. And it's like, oh, that's another cool thing that we could probably get into. COVID happens, baseball has a lockout. Essentially, 2023 Major League Baseball is dead set on this needs to be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this World Baseball Classic needs to succeed. It needs to be a thing in order for it to be long-term viable. And so MLB essentially campaigned for its stars to play. Like, hey, we're letting you play in this thing. Do it.
Guys, we're sorry.
Please go play in it. And it worked, Caleb. It really worked. Because the USA put together perhaps its best roster that it had ever participated in the World Baseball Classic, including several current star players in their prime. But in response, Caleb, the USA loaded up. Japan needed to retaliate and respond. And they put together by far and away their most talented roster ever as well.
Including Shohei.
Including Shohei Ohtani, who at the time was teammates with Mike Trout. In some sense, you could say Mike Trout was captain for the USA. Shohei Ohtani was the captain
America.
for Japan. So this matters. This comes up later on in a pivotal point.
Okay.
So
Would they put a parlay on each other?
No. No. USA and Japan put together loaded rosters. They're ready to rock and roll. Yes, the world's premier authorities on baseball have come to play. The USA defeat Cuba in a semifinal, and Japan beats Mexico in the other semifinal to set up probably the most anticipated matchup in the history of this tournament. The Dominican versus Puerto Rico, very cool. I think it showcases a different side of baseball to a lot of the world. But once everybody found out just how seriously the USA and Japan were taking this, it's almost like, well, be kind of a bummer if we didn't get to see it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot like for Winter Olympic hockey this year, NHL players were allowed to go and play in the Olympics for the first time since 2014. Everybody was like, it would be kind of a bummer if we didn't see USA versus Canada at some point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, which went pretty well. So, Caleb, USA Japan 2023 World Baseball Classic Championship game. Caleb, this is one of the most viewed baseball games of all time. I don't have the US numbers, but 54 million people in Japan were watching this game.
Holy 54 million. Japan's got like maybe 3 times that. So a third of Japan.
Yes, they were locked in. And this game would create probably, there's maybe a more recent Shohei Ohtani moment. You have to understand, when Shohei Ohtani does something, or really any Japanese player does anything in Major League Baseball, that social media post automatically goes to the moon because Japan's all over it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But so Shohei maybe did a couple of things in this last season that maybe eclipsed it, but I'm not sure. This is one of the most viral moments in the history of baseball. Championship game. It's the bottom of the 9th inning, Caleb. We're in Miami, Florida. It's a packed house. USA, Japan. Japan has brought in Shohei Ohtani to close out the game. Japan is leading 3-2, and they need to win this. Shohei Ohtani comes out to the mound. Who else, with 2 outs, last hope for America is Captain America, Mike Trout.
So it's like, and these two are like teammates.
They're teammates for the Los Angeles Angels at the time. Mike Trout is considered by many to be the greatest player of his generation. I would consider him in the GOAT conversation. He is not the GOAT of baseball, but his first 10 seasons were so good that you could argue it
He's like the greatest player playing currently. Would
pretty
you
much.
consider that?
Pretty much, as far as all the career is concerned. And he's going up against Shohei Ohtani. And I don't know if it's been confirmed, but it's widely believed, because you got to understand, to achieve a certain level of great, you kind of have to be egotistical in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Widely believed that Shohei Ohtani purposely chose the Los Angeles Angels when he came over from Japan, not just because it's on the West Coast, it's closer to Japan. A lot of Japanese players prefer that if they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew everything about Mike Trout and how great he was. And Shohei is like, I want to go prove myself against that guy. I want to be teammates with him.
Mm-hmm.
We're friends. But I want the world to know who Shohei Ohtani is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great at bat. It ends up as a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Ooh.
So Shohei needs to make a pitch here. It's not the end of the world if he walks Mike Trout, but it certainly gives the USA an added advantage if they can get a man on base in this particular scenario. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The current GOAT staring down the future generation's GOAT. And with the entire baseball world watching, Shohei Ohtani throws a slider. So an off-speed pitch. And it tails away further and further away, so far away that Mike Trout's flailing bat cannot make contact with this baseball. Mike Trout strikes out to Shohei Ohtani to end the 2023 World Baseball Classic. Japan is champion once again.
And social media went crazy.
Yeah, I should almost look up the post to see if I can find the post, because there's a lot of likes and a lot of views. Japan has won their 3rd World Baseball Championship. A clash of the Titans, GG's to Japan. So that takes us to 2026.
Current year.
World Baseball Classic. Today is March 4th. It starts today, the very first matchup. It's going on right now. Its first game's probably almost over. Japan, they're loaded again. The USA, they're even more loaded, arguably, than they were last time. The Dominican Republic has an absolutely insane lineup. Puerto Rico is missing some of their stars. They got plenty of talent, though. The Netherlands is a fun, scrappy team. Mexico had a Cinderella run last time. Can they repeat that? And there's always some sort of surprise at one point. Like, rather shockingly, Israel won a few games at the 2023 World Baseball Classic. They're like, where did these guys come from?
Oh,
And
topical.
yes. And whatever happens, Great Britain will have the worst jerseys. You should Google that. If you're at home, Google that. Great Britain World Baseball Classic jersey. I could make that. I don't know the computer. I don't have Photoshop. I don't have Microsoft Paint. I don't have anything. I can make that jersey in like 5 seconds. It's bad.
I'll have to take a look at that.
So 2026, 16 best teams from last time, 4 additional qualifiers. The host cities, Miami, Florida, Houston, Texas, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Tokyo, Japan. Yeah. They will host the pool play of the tournament, and then the semifinals are between Houston and Miami, and the final is going to be in Miami.
Okay.
They always host it in Miami just in case a Caribbean or Central American team makes it.
Easy.
Because not only can those people travel from their countries if they choose to, but there's just a lot of those people already in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
a lot of the countries are also like
Right.
central,
Right.
like Central America.
Central America. And you could put the game freaking anywhere in Japan showing up.
Yeah.
So they support, shout out. So, yeah. That's the World Baseball Classic, Caleb.
Wow. I thought I saw in 2023 Japan versus somebody
Mm-hmm.
like at like a bar or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know it was like so crazy.
Yeah.
I can actually I did think it happened like every year too. I know it did not happen every year.
Right. It's essentially baseball. I think I made mention to the FIFA World Cup earlier. baseball wants it to become the World Cup of baseball,
Mm.
which is funny because the old tournament used was called the Baseball World Cup, and then they just named it the World Baseball Classic, but they want it to be the World Cup of baseball. It's a thing.
There's world and baseball are somewhere in there.
Differentiation, got to make it stand out. I dig it. It's fine. So, yeah, I'm excited. I hope the USA wins.
USA. If not, Nippon des. Because Pokemon.
Fair enough. Yeah. So I don't know if you had any other comments or questions or whatever, but
No, I actually didn't know. Like, I knew that it was mainly like a American and like East Asian thing. I didn't know it was like almost only America and East Asia.
pretty much. It's funny, but we had made mention of the Little League World Series earlier. One of the better teams very consistently at the Little League World Series, because the Little League World Series, for those that aren't aware, there's an international bracket and then there's a USA bracket, and eventually the winners of each bracket face off. So it's a team representing the United States and a team representing the world. Chinese Taipei is absolutely unbelievable when it comes to the World Baseball Classic.
Really?
They're very, very good. But on a level like this, they usually don't perform all that well.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I don't know if it's because when those kids grow up, they just stop playing baseball. Chinese Taipei has their own professional league. And of course, if they don't want to play there, they could always go to South Korea and the KBO or Japan, the MPB. So there's plenty of options. But yeah, Chinese Taipei, like they're competitive and they win games, but they've never really gotten close to winning it all, which is very interesting. But yes, East Asian, the Americas, for sure.
Yeah, very cool. I'll have to check in some games. Maybe we could do that this weekend.
We could. USA plays Friday night for their first game.
USA. Against who?
That's a good question, actually. I saw the flag, but I can't remember what the flag was, so therefore I can't remember who.
Oh, sorry. What color was it?
Yeah, I know you would know. So, yes. All right. I think that's enough rambling. I think, unless you had other comments or
No,
concerns.
that was very, very cool. I actually, yeah, it's bringing back like a bunch of memories of like seeing like countries playing baseball. I was like, huh.
Well, maybe you'll make some more baseball memories, Caleb.
I hope so. Well, Austin, this has been a wonderful episode. A lot of Japan today.
Very Japan-centric, but hey, Japan's pretty good at things too.
Hey.
That's why I had to rep the USA jersey. I had to let people know, hey, Japan stays over there.
I'll keep my Pokemon. Thank you for listening to Balls and Blasters. Austin, where can they find us?
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We just released a YouTube short / TikTok last week.
Yes, we did. And I will be releasing another one very, very soon.
Also an Instagram reel. All of them.
Yeah. So, yes, I hope you guys like that as well. You guys seem to be liking our last episode, so thank you very much for that.
Very much appreciated. Many reasons.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys, though, so much for watching, and we will catch you on episode 24, which means that we are 3 episodes away from 26, which 26 is half of 52, even though we've been doing this for more than half a year.
I didn't know where you were going with that for a while.
I did a lot of math. Thank you for listening to Balls and Blasters. I'm Caleb.
I'm still Austin.
We'll see you guys later.
See you next time.